Hello everybody, it's me, Madam Nasra. Today I'll be with you in English subjects. Our topic is tense, English tenses. By definition, tense refers to the relationship between the time of speaking and the time of event. This means one may be speaking now about the event that occurred at the time before the time of speaking. That is this one known as the past tense. Another is the event occurring now at the time of speaking. This is the present tense, and speaking about the event that occur after the time of speaking, known as the future tense. That when you talk about you speak about the event that occurred before the time of speaking, that is the past tense. And if we speak about the event which is occur now, the time during the speaking time, synonymous to the speaking time, simultaneous with the speaking time, this is the present tense. But if you speak about the event which occurred the coming time before after the time of speaking, that is the future tense. There are great debates concerning the types of tense. Here, linguists say that there is an acute debate on how tenses do we have in English and general in all languages of the world. That is in an endable debate concerning how many types of words of tense. Some have been arguing that there are three tenses, that is present, past, and future. Another group has been arguing that there are only two tenses and that the future is not a tense because the verb do not change in a shape to express the time of action. That there are group which argue that there are three types, that present tense, past tense, and future tense. While another group argue that there are only two types. They ignore this type because the verb does not change its shape. Also, the last group of this is the camp with the author, which support that there are 12 tenses in language. Since we agree that tense is the relationship between the time of event and time of speaking, there are 12 instances in the relationship. So also there are group which argue that there is 12 types of words of tense. Now let's discuss those types. After the discussion, I will leave you with the task of dividing how many types of tense. But I will analyze the all tenses we have in English language. These types are present tense. It doesn't mean that I'm arguing with those who believe in the three types, but I just analyzing them. You will categorize by yourself. So, types of tense: present tense, past tense, and future tense. Starting with the present tense, we call them as the present group. That is the time of speaking goes synonymous or goes simultaneously with the time of word of event. That is present tense. Present tense also divided into four parts, or four types, have four categories: simple present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect, and present perfect continuous tense. Starting with the simple present tense. This used to express about events which occurred frequently. We use simple as it is heard that simple. We express about the events which occur frequently. We do every day, every time, maybe be it every week. Also, used it to express habit. Habits. What is your habit of doing something? The habit of yourself, you can do it frequently. That is what? Simple present tense. Think about habit of drinking water, go to school, go to job, to church, to the mosque, to eat or not to eat. These are things one will express by using simple present tense. One peculiar thing about this tense is that verb in this tense remain at the same. It doesn't change. There is no changes in the verb. Verb will remain in the base form, except to the third person singular. To the third person singular, verb receive s or es or ies. But when we talk about the first person, second person, or in all form, be it plural or singular, verb remain in its base form. For example, I eat ugali every day. I eat ugali every day. Our verb here is eat, and it remained in the base form. It doesn't receive anything. Another, we go to school. It is the habit. We go to school. Though it is a plural form, it is a plural word person, but the verb remains in its base form. Another example, I teach English every Monday. It is my habit to teach English. So the verb remains as it's the same. But based on the third person singular. When we're talking about the third person singular, we talk about she, he, or it. As I said before, that verb will receive s. For example, she or he teaches English. She or he teaches English. Or another example, let me come up with another example, that she eats ugali every day. She eats ugali every day. She rides bicycle every morning. She rides bicycle every morning. That is the habit of somebody. Something to consider here is the persons and the verb. As we saw at the before, it doesn't receive anything, but at the third person singular, it received words s. Another example is it rains almost every day. It rains almost every day. That is the simple present tense or simple present group. The next type of present tense is present continuous tense. This one. Here, the speaker is saying that an action is now and it's in progress. The action is now and it's in progress. For example, let's take an example. I am teaching now. So, I am teaching. It is a present continuous tense. Now and it's progress. It is in continuation. It is still proceeding. The form here we use I am, is, are plus ing. Verb receive what? Ing. For example, I am teaching English. I am teaching English. You are learning English. To you who are learning, you can say you are learning English, because the action is done. It is doing now and it's still in progress. Linguists here tell us that this tense goes what? The linguists here argue that tense, which is present continuous tense, is the most well-known and used tense by English language learners. It is the only one common tense which is used by the English language learners. You you can think by yourself that you always use tense with adding ing. Like, I am doing what's and well. Maybe I am cooking, I am sleeping, I'm learning, I'm reading. So we use, it is a mostly useful used to the students. When we say students, we mean English language learners. Now let's jump to the present perfect. Here the speaker wants to show that an action has done now and it is complete. That action has done now and it's complete. For example, for all persons, we use have plus ed in the verb form. That is verb. It is verb stay in the passive way. That is, for example, I have closed the door, and not closed as in the simple present, and not closing as in the present continuous tense. Here we add ed. I have closed the door. You have done your laundry. But this is done for the first person and the second person. But when we are talking about the third person singular, here something quite different. The subject remain as it is, but have changed into hers, and verb in the passive form. So she has eaten ugali. For example, if it will be this sentence, she has, it will be like this: she has closed the door. It has finished its assignment. We have seen that here verb change, and there is addition of have, that is auxiliary verb, and has, that is auxiliary verb. Instead of using is, instead of using are, instead of using any, maybe were, but here that things change. We use auxiliary verb has and have. Have usually in the first and the second persons, but hers usually in the third person singular. The next type is present perfect continuous tense. Present perfect continuous tense. The speaker explained that the action started sometime earlier and it is still in continuation. The speaker explained that the action started in sometime earlier, but it is still in progress, in continuation. Form. We have our form. For example, our form is auxiliary verb have plus been plus ing for other persons. When I say other persons, I mean first and second persons. But for the third person singular, here the formula is has plus been plus ing. For example, I have been English. I have been teaching. As I said, I have been teaching with ing English for a year now. I have been teaching. That started before and is still in progress, still in continuation. That it is for a year now. Another is they have been waiting for your support since 2005. They have been waiting for US support from 2005. They that is subject, have, auxiliary verb plus been, also plus verb with ing. The next example is she. This is the case of the third person singular. She has been cooking since morning. She has been, this is has plus been plus verb. This is our verb with ing. She has been, this is our augs. Augs means auxiliary verb. She has been cooking since morning. The last one, but not the least, is he has been gossiping a day and night. He has been gossiping day and night. Present perfect continuous tense, something that is complex, but I hope that through this session it will be easier for you to construct your own sentences in the present perfect continuous tense form. This will be your task for you. Thank you. The past tense. This is the second category, the second type of tense. Past tense. Past tense is when we are talking about the event which has done before the time of speaking. That is past tense. Also, past tense divided into 4 parts, which is simple past, past continuous tense, past perfect tense, and the past perfect continuous tense. Starting with the simple past. Here, the speaker saying things which were done before the time of speaking. When you are talking about the things which were done before the time of speaking, here it is in the simple past. Its form is subject, verb, but in the past form, as I cooked ugali. For the regular verb, this means regular verb here receive ed, be it ed or t, but I cooked ugali. But for the irregular verb, we change it into their past form as I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter, not I write the letter. When you say I write, you'll be in the simple present. So here we normally use verb in the past form. I wrote a letter to my father. This is applicable to all persons. There is no change, be it in the first, second, third, be it in a plural or in a singular. Now let's jump to the past continuous tense. Past continuous tense here, the speaker speaks of an action which was done in the past, but it was in progressive. That when you are talking about the action or event which was done at the past time, but it is in the progressive, the speaker used point of reference. Here, speaker use the point of reference. Let's go to an example so as you can be clear. For example, I was teaching mathematics last year. I was. So now let's see. In the past continuous tense, there is auxiliary verb. Instead of using is changed into the past form, was. Also, verb is added, what verb receives ing in order to make it into the progressive form. So what makes the past form is what? Was, auxiliary verb was. But what makes it progressive form is ing, the addition of ing in the verb. I was teaching mathematics last year. Last year is what we call the point of what? Of reference. Be it overtly or covertly. There are some scenarios the point reference is seen, but there are some scenarios the point of reference does not sin. The next example is he was playing for Simba before he went to TP Mazembe. He was playing for Simba. He was marked the past form. Playing marks the progressive form. So past continuous tense. He was playing for Simba before he went to TP Mazembe. For the Simba fans, they have their own the point of reference. And before he went to TP Mazembe, this marked the point of reference, that before this has done, this occurred. That's the things which were done before the time of speaking. Now let's jump to the past perfect tense. Past perfect tense, the speaker said that the action was done before and it's completed before another. The action was done in the past and it was completed before another thing. For example, I had cooked ugali before Kigodoro passed. I had cooked ugali. Verb here we have is, instead of using has as in another way, another form of perfect tense as we use has, here we use had. Also verb receive ed in the past form. I had cooked ugali before Kigodoro passed. Before another was completed before another thing. Before what? Before Kigodoro passed. Another example is she had a babe when she got married. She had a babe when she got married. That this girl had a babe before she got what? Married. Had is what we call the verb, the auxiliary verb to mark the past form. Yeah. Now let me leave you with this quiz. Construct 6 sentences in the past perfect tense. Let me give you a tip. It is normally people claim that tenses are difficult, English tenses are difficult, but well, the one thing that I want to advise you, and it may be helpful for your life, that try to practice tense. Make your own sentences, make the sentences for past perfect tense by using the form, words, be it simple past continuous tense. So I know and you know that practice makes more perfect. So I advise you to practice more and more. Thank you for watching. Hello everybody, I'm Madam Nasra. Let's proceed with the next type of tense. The next subtopic today is past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense. Here, the speaker is speaking on the event which was done before the another. The action was in progressive. It happened before the another thing, that before the reference point, and the action was done, though it was completed, but it was in the continuation, what we call, which make the continuous tense. The formula here, we use had plus been plus ing. For example, I had been teaching mathematics for 2 years. I had been teaching mathematics for 2 years before I went to Europe. This before I went to Europe, it is the one which marked the point of reference. It was done at the past time and it is completed for 2 years, but it was in progressive. That's why we call it the past perfect continuous tense. Another is she had been saying that for a long time. She had been saying that for a long time. Something to note here is the formula. Formula is the one which will direct you to make your own sentences. The next one, the third type of tense is future tense. Future tense is the type of tense where you speak about the event which will happen in the time to come. It is categorized into 4 parts as the other type of tense. The first one is the simple future. Simple future, this is the tense where a speaker is speaking now but about the thing which will happen or which will done in the time to come. That the speaker is speaking now but about the thing which will happen in the time to come. Maybe tomorrow I will go to school, or next year I'll be married. So that is we are speaking now but about the thing or about the event, about the action which will be done in the time to come. Form. Here we use will plus verb. Verb remain in the base form or remain there. There is no addition of ing, be it or ed. The verb remain there. Example: I will or shall cook ugali. I will cook ugali, or I shall cook ugali. The next one is Simba will defeat Yanga. Verb remains in bare or in basic form. There is no addition of ing or ed or any other thing. Remain in their basic form. Also, there is a use of will or shall. Another thing to note is there is the use of will or shall, but shall is usually only for the first person singular and the first person plural, because we use shall for commitment. So I can commit myself that I shall teach English. I shall maybe eating ugali. I shall eat ugali, but you can't commit for another person. That's why shall match only with the first person singular and first person plural. We don't commit for another person. You can say she shall eat ugali. You don't know about him or her, so don't commit to another person. That's why we use shall. Basing on Simba will defeat Yanga, we don't use shall here because Simba is the third person singular. You can't commit on the another person as I said before. The next or second type of this is future continuous tense. Future continuous tense, things will happen in the future, but will be in continuations. Yet that is, it will happen in the future time, in the time to come, but it will be in the continuation. For example, before going to the example, let's use the formula. Formula here is shall or will plus verb with ing. Shall or will plus verb with ing. For example, I will be studying next year. The another thing to add here is the addition of be. I will be studying next year. That the process of studying will be in continuation, but it is the next year. That is the future time, the time to come, not now. Another is I'll be traveling tomorrow afternoon. I will be traveling tomorrow afternoon. The next one is future perfect. Future perfect Speaker is speaking now, but about thing which will be done or will happen in the time to come, but the action will be completed before another thing. That's why it is future perfect. There is perfection. The action will be completed before another thing. Another thing is the one which we call the point of reference. Form shall plus will plus shall or will. Shall, we will use shall for the only first person, be it singular or plural. And then we can opt to use will plus have plus verb with ed. For example, I will have cooked ugali when they arrive from Shamba. I will have cooked ugali. I will, to mark the future time, have cooked perfection. Ugali when they arrive from Shamba. When they arrive from Shamba, what we call before another thing. Another thing is the point of reference. Another example is I shall have graduated my PhD before I get married. I shall have, the first person singular, shall, tense mark, meaning the time to come, have with graduated, this marks the perfection. My PhD before I get married. Before this the point of reference, before another thing. Another last part of the future tense is future perfect continuous tense. Future perfect continuous tense. Future perfect continuous tense is not much different from the future perfect, but the only one thing to add here is the event. That event will be in progressive. So by definition, we can say that speaker is speaking now about the event which will be done in the time to come, but action will be completed before another thing, but it will be in progressive or in continuation. So you can use this definition by adding it will be in progressive or continuation. Even the formula here is only the continuation mark which make it to be different from the future perfect. For example, let's take the form will or shall plus have plus been plus ing. For example, I will have been cooking ugali. I will have been cooking ugali. She will have been dancing makilikili. Will, to mark the future time. Have, perfect. Been with ing, this marks the continuation. I will have been dancing makilikili. We will have been eating chicken. We will have been eating chicken. This marks the end of our tense. So, according to this, you can know that there are 3 types of tense, but within each of the 3, there is 4 types of tense, which mark them to be totally 12. That's why there is group which say that there is 3 types of tense. Others say that there is 12 types of tense. All of them, they just roaming in the same room. They just, I can say, what their points is just one. What will make them to be different is the way of analysis, the way they analyze. The one who can see that there is only 3, okay, she'll be in the maybe present tense. she'll be with it. Then she or he will teach about simple, about the words perfect, something like that. So they are all the same. That's why I said that before, that I won't tell you that how many types of tense, but what I will give you will make you to categorize by yourself. Up to here, I hope that you are good in tense, and I want you to make 5 sentences in past perfect continuous tense. Thank you for watching.
Purchase your tracks today.